There are certain things you need to see about yourself because there are certain things you need to stop if you want to operate in life in abundance. And one of those things is to put yourself on hold for people that remain backwards. So I will say it in the form of a commandment. Do not put yourself on hold for those that remain backwards. Don't do it. Now, I'm diving right into it. Let's say that you used to hang out with some buddies during college or university. You guys had a great time hopping from bar to bar, being drinking. You even went to nightclubs, strip clubs, all of that. It was a great time. Now, that is 20 years ago. Your son is about to turn 17 soon. And your son already talks about going to college. Now, you're warning your son for many of the dangers you didn't see back then. So, after giving your son this lecture on how to watch out for wrong friends during college or university, what do you know? Someone you knew from college that you used to binge drink with suddenly calls you, saying that he found you on LinkedIn and he just wanted to catch up. Now, you talk a little bit with him on the phone. He's married too. His children are the similar age as your children. So you think, okay, just a reconnection from the past. But then your son, who just turned 17, tells you that I'm just 17. I don't have that much life experience, but that, why is it that it's right now that this former buddy of yours suddenly reached out to you? You've been on LinkedIn for since LinkedIn began. You have been reaching out to people from college more than a decade ago. Nobody bothered with you. Why is it now that me and my younger brother are about to become adults that this guy suddenly calls you? You have two sons that me and John. John just turned 16. I turned 17. Soon we'll be out of the house. Why is it now that this guy reached out to you? So you listen to your son, and first you thought your son was a bit rude for not minding his own business, but then you realize, hold on a minute, my son is telling the truth. I'm in the middle of a transition now. My sons are grown. I mean, they're still teenage, but they're about to move out soon to go to college or university. It'll be just me and my wife left, so there's a new phase starting our life. I'm in a transition, coming 2 years, and right now, people from the past reach out to me. And what do you know? Soon, it's a bunch of people from your college years that suddenly reach out to you. Even one of your ex-girlfriends that you have a crush on also reach out to you again. And you think to yourself, what the heck is going on here? Let me tell you what goes on. You moved on. When you graduated university, you got your master's degree, and you unsubscribed from the fraternity, you did the right thing. You put it all behind you, and you focused on your career, and you met your wife, and you focused on your family. You made sure you had something to offer to your children. You realized that you owed your children and grandchildren something. So you did the right thing. Those other people, they had no choice but to look for a full-time job or to move in with their partner or whatever, but they never actually moved on. In their mind, they're still 19 or 20. In their mind, they're still that college student that just wants to have a good time. During college, they went to class out of necessity, and later went to their full-time jobs out of necessity. So their mindset has stagnated. So those people, over the years, they've accumulated resentment and grudges. So they're worse off than how they used to be. You turned out better than you used to be. What happens now is that you're now about to transition again in your life. Now that your children are moving out of the house, you can now spend more time on your own business with your wife. So now you're about to enter a new economic phase in your life, but look at this. Those other people, they can feel that you're moving forward because it causes a ripple effect on them. In their mind, you're just like them. In their mind, you're just as resentful and bitter at life as they are, but you're not. What goes on now is that they want to bring you back to how things were 20 years ago. They want to bring you back into their pity party, and they want to bring you back into their resentments. Misery loves company. But look at this now. Your son saw through it. You didn't. Your son saw through it. And you decide you're not going to keep talking to those people anymore, just going to keep moving on. Now, are they going to be happy? No. But soon after they notice that you're not going to catch up with them anymore, they just forgot all about you. Or perhaps they began to ignore you. And then, this was a year later, your son turned 18, and your son told you, Dad, I told you. Those people are not interested in getting any better. Or maybe it's not people from college. It can be you have some cousins or some nephews, someone in the family, that every time they're around you, they keep talking about some conflicts that were going on in the family. But here's the issue. Those conflicts are over 2 or 3 decades old. Some of those conflicts even happened before both of you were born. Those were conflicts relating to your grandfather who's not around anymore because he passed away, or great-grandfather. And now you notice one thing. Every time this relative comes along, you're in a good mood at home. The relative calls you, and every time you hang up, whether you hang up or they hang up, you feel tired. You feel like things are getting worse in your life. You feel a bit depressed. This is a sign to you that this individual is holding you back. So every time you give in to their invitation or you give in to their urge to talk to you, whatever, you are putting yourself on hold just to make them at ease. Now, there's nothing wrong with giving some space to relatives, friends, and the people that you're close with. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. We should spend time with other people, and we should make some sacrifice for other people too. I mean, some investments. That's a better term. I mean, you have to make some investments into other people. However, it should be mutual. They invest in you, and you invest in them. The way both of you can. That's how it goes. There must be some reciprocity between the two of you. The moment you notice it's only one-sided, you make investments in them by opening up yourself to them. But every time they come, they're just unloading tension or unloading conflicts or loading regrets or grudges or whatever. And then afterwards, when you think, okay, I'm moving on now, you feel tired, look, that 10 minutes you spoke to them was enough to set you back 10 steps back. Maybe you were doing well at the job, and someone, a relative calls you, maybe an aunt or whatever, and keep complaining and bitching all the time. After you hang up, suddenly now you have issues at work. Before you know it, you're fired because you don't function at that much. Now you're unemployed. Now you can't pay your mortgage anymore or you can't pay rent anymore, so now you need to move to a smaller place. You see what happened? You put yourself on hold for this relative who ain't going anywhere, put you in danger. And now you are just as backwards as they are in your circumstances. Now, I'm not saying you've become just like them, but when it comes to daily life and circumstances, you are just as backwards as they are. There's one thing you need to understand. When someone is not moving forward, when someone is not moving ahead, when someone is not improving, that means they're only getting worse. And that means that anytime you open up to them, you are participating in their backwardsness. And you cannot participate in someone else's backwardsness and not expect their backwardsness to bring you down. Whenever you participate in someone else's backwardness, you are going backwards too. That's how simple it is. Now, backwardness does not have to mean that they are still selling drugs on the streets or that they are still bitching, complaining about things that happened to them 20 or 30 years ago. Backwardness can also be that people never want to challenge anything and they never want to question anything. People that never question anything, even when there is proof enough that something is off, such people are also backwards. Such people have a narcissistic attitude that they don't want to face any discomfort in life. Such people will put themselves at risk, and such people will get you and others killed. So, people who don't want to face anything, who always make excuses, who never want to question things, even when there's obvious proof that something needs to be questioned, those people are backwards. They're backwards on purpose. Now, it's one thing to be backwards and you're not aware of it. In that case, people can admit it onto you, you can get the therapy and help you need, and you'll be on your feet. But there are people who are backwards on purpose. That means they know they're backwards, but they are faking as if they're not. And they want you to validate their false claim that they're moving forward, even though they're not. People that are backwards on purpose, I guarantee you, when you involve yourself with them, you will go backwards. You will lose relationships, you will lose opportunity in life, you will lose finances, you may even lose your health, and in the worst case, you may even lose your life. And that's something you cannot recover from because you're dead. If someone is backwards and you just don't realize they're stuck, you still keep your safe distance from them, and you may hint to them that things can be better. You don't just flat out tell them, hey man, you're effing backwards, man, blah, blah, blah. No, you just hint to them that they can be better and do better. Just motivate them to be better and do better. If they don't catch onto it, that's not on you. You did your part. But when someone is backwards on purpose, watch out. Because they will fake like they're moving forward, just like you. They will mirror your expectations. Why? Just to take advantage of you. So do not ever put yourself on hold for those that are backwards. You can motivate them to be better while you continue forward. Do not put yourself on hold. Not even for your children. If your children are grown, so they're out of your house, you did your job. You did what you could for your children. And if you were a lousy or bad parent, now your children have the responsibility to process their childhood and move forward. Anyway, there's not much you can do anymore. So, your children are out of the house, you have started a new phase in your life. So, your children can reach out to you for help if they need something, and you're able to help them. Of course, nothing wrong with that. But the moment you notice that your children are backwards and they still act like they're 12 years old, even though they're 25, now you need to be playing son or daughter. Come on, this can't go on like this. You're a grown man, you're a grown woman. I did what I could. And if I make a mistake, I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about it now. We both need to process things and move forward. You get me? That's how you do. If you have grandchildren, it's easier to do because you didn't raise your grandchildren. But I can see a lot of people out there who have children and their children are putting them on hold. Look, your children should be able to reach out to you and talk about things in their lives, all that, that's fine. But here's the thing. They must realize they're grown ups themselves. They must realize that you don't have all the answers, and they must realize that from now on, they have to rely on their father. Some of you have children draining you financially. Anytime you're about to make a new step forward, you and your spouse or whatever, this son who's 26, 27 calls because his laundry machine broke. Or one of your daughter calls you saying that, oh, she forgot to pay her car bill or whatever. And she borrows money and she pays back. But here's the thing. By the time they borrow the money, until that moment you don't have that money anymore to spend for what you wanted to do. And now when they do pay you back, the opportunity is gone. And it's a cycle. It happens over and over again. So now Satan is using your own children to hold you back. Now maybe it's not your children, maybe it's your parents. Maybe your parents are keeping you on hold. Either by blaming you for things you can't be blamed for. For example, you may have a parent that blames you, saying, because I take care of you, I could move on with my life. And you think to yourself, what? There's so many people who had children. There were even single mothers who managed to move ahead in life. So what heck is this? Or maybe it's not that your parent is blaming you for stuff. Maybe the parent just wants to relive old memories. But here's the thing. You have a family of your own now. So what goes on now is that, yes, your mom or dad may not be accusing you or when you're done with accusations nor anything like that, they may not be narcissistically abusing you, but because they are backwards, they're holding you back. Now, I don't recommend you to just cut your parents off and all of that, no, but just make plain to your parents, mom, dad, I appreciate all you've done for me, and I appreciate you want to bring back old memories of that, that's fine, but dad, I need to move on. I have my own family now. You get what I'm saying? So look, people that are backwards are not by definition bad people. Some people just don't realize that they're stuck and they're moving backwards. Again, such people you can reach out to and you can motivate them for better while you move forward. But if they're backwards on purpose, just avoid them, lower contact, and stay away from them. In the second case, they're willing agents of darkness to hold everyone back. In the second case, they're close to reprobation. And often in the second case, they are reprobates already. So just beware. But that's it for now. That's all I have to say for this message. Keep on growing with Christ, and again, keep moving forward, serving them with Father. Don't let anyone put you on hold for their relief. Be at peace.